On Trends today, activist Sowore arrested in court. President Tinubu swears in new INEC chairman Amupitan. Federal government to invest $220 million in jobs for young Nigerians. Hello and welcome to another episode of Trends with LJE, where we analyze major stories shaping leadership, justice and economic growth across Nigeria and Africa. My name is Amoyeni Ojeifo. Now don't forget you can also be a part of the conversation by following us across all platforms on at LJE Nigeria. Joining me to discuss today's topics is a guest whom I shall be introducing after the break. Stay tuned.
Camera rolling. Light set. Sound check. And action.
Hello, technical issues with intent to educate.
This is the perfect space to create professional quality videos, recording news, podcasts, and all media content. With top-of-the-line cameras, studio lighting, soundproof spaces, we provide everything you need for a seamless shoot. Our fully equipped studio ensures high-quality production every time. Enjoy a comfortable, air-conditioned environment with professional-grade gear and expert support. Contact us now or visit our Abuja location to reserve your spot.
Welcome back from the break. This is still Trends with LG, and I have in the studio with me Dr. John Kamyang, a communications expert. You're welcome again.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Thank you for always being here. Now to our first story. Human rights activist Omoyele Sowore was arrested in court earlier today in solidarity with the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu.
Consideration all the conditions laid down in Muhammad. Here, my law, that the defendant has now applied for bail. Now, as I've said earlier, bail is a decision of the court taking into consideration all the conditions laid down in Muhammad Abuja v. State. At this stage, I am of the opinion that to make or take a stand on the bail application without first hearing and determine the issue that is glaring in the face, which is the absence of the defendant from the court since 25th of April 2017 until he was produced on the 29th of June. My lord, which was exactly what the Supreme Court did. They said that he did not jump bail. These criminals came to my house to kill me. That's what the Supreme Court said. This is in your own court, my lord. So I cannot understand, my lord, why my trial will be conducted contrary to the Constitution of Nigeria that said I must have free and unfettered access to my counsel. Is here. This is the law of Nigeria.
However, the situation changed when Sowore was reportedly apprehended by armed policemen. Following the confirmation of his arrest, the Nigerian police force, according to the force PRO, ACP Benjamin Hundeyin, Sowore's arrest was necessary to ensure fairness and transparency in the ongoing investigation and prosecution of those who participated in the Free Nnamdi Kanu protest. Sowore has been arraigned in the Federal High Court in Abuja, which fixed October 29th for the hearing of the suit filed by the police against him and other. What is your take on this issue?
Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer, Ejimoko, Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer, Ejimoko, and of course the convener of the protest, Omoyele Sowore, taking the protest to supposedly restricted areas. So that is the thing. But in the manner in which the police has chosen to carry out these arrests, and let me start with the arrest of Nnamdi Kanu's brother and the lawyer. They were denied access to legal counsel. Now, if you watch the video where Sowore was arrested, he was smart. Fortunately, he had his lawyer with him. And he asked the lawyer, he told the police that his lawyer would go with him, you know.
But
now, the irony was that the police claimed that they were inviting him. And only for him to now be taken to he wasn't taken to force headquarters. He was taken to what those of us who live in the FCT and the capital city, Abuja, know as this former SARS office in Gusape. And from there, he was arraigned before a court, a court of quote and unquote competent jurisdiction. So these antics, in fact, before he was taken to court, human rights lawyer and activist, one of those who speak for Sowore, someone I know very well, Barrister Nnamdi Effiong, who has reacted.
I was going to ask that.
Yeah, who has reacted to the arrest of Sowore and the manner in which he was arrested. He has accused the current administration, particularly fingering Mr. President, as making a mockery of the judicial system. And that's why I said earlier today, when you had me on the earlier edition of Trends, that I wish we had a legal expert to look at certain technicalities. One, from the Nnamdi Kanu perspective, we saw Nnamdi Kanu defending himself in court. And then, of course, in starting his defense, he has listed a number of high-profile individuals who are supposed to be witnesses in his defense case. And I did say that it would be interesting to get some legal angle as to how this would pan out. We are still following the developing stories. Lawyers are already reacting to Nnamdi's Kanu. Well, maybe tomorrow that will form part of our conversation on the next edition of Trends. But it is important to note how these events since Monday have been metamorphosing. So it suggests on one hand that the police are being tactful, in carrying out whatever instructions and actions they have currently embarked upon. And then on the other hand, it will be interesting to see the judicial interpretation to how all of this pans out.
Okay. And to our next story, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has officially sworn in Professor Josh Amupitan as the new chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Amupitan arrived at the State House on Thursday morning ahead of the ceremony that formalized his assumption of office as Nigeria's top electoral umpire. The professor of law, accompanied by several presidential aides, took the oath of office during a brief ceremony at the presidential villa. Dr. John, can this new leadership restore trusts in INEC?
I don't think so.
Okay, why is that?
I don't think so. I'm trying to remember which one of I think it was the ADC that said, in as much as it is a welcome development, but they don't trust Amupitan. Considering one, don't forget, part of the argument about the appointment of INEC chairman is the need for independent, for those appointments, even civil society and stakeholders in the electoral process have continued to question RAP and a host of other organizations threatening to go to court and consistently pressuring Mr. President to be transparent. Questions were asked. Who are those making your list? And how did you come to the conclusion of those names on that list? Has the list been sent to the Council of State? Has the list been vetted by the National Assembly? All of the process that naturally should make the process as transparent as possible. And somehow, Mr. President, in his wittiness, was brought out Amupitan. And funny enough, somehow, the name was already making rounds in the public space. And the next thing was, okay, the name was sent to the Council of State, and in typical fashion, the National Assembly just rubber stamped it, bam. And of course, so there's a lot of skepticism. Okay. And then the big test for Amupitan would be the gubernatorial elections in Anambra.
Okay. Thank you very much. And to our final story, the federal government has unveiled plans to invest $220 million in creating employment opportunities for young Nigerians through the Nigeria Jubilee Fellows Program 2.0. Vice President Kashim Shettima made the announcement on Wednesday during the official inauguration of the program at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. The initiative, developed in collaboration with the European Union and the United Nations Development Programme, aims to equip Nigerian graduates with hands-on work experience, mentorship, and professional training. Dr. John, quickly, do you think this initiative would actually help reduce the rate of unemployment in Nigeria?
The idea behind the initiative is great.
Okay.
It's fantastic, but it is in terms of implementation. I mean, 220 million US dollars. That's a sackload of money. We hear this all the time, all kinds of presidential initiatives, partnerships, but at the end of the day, we do not see how far-reaching the results are. And so it has been pointed